Okay, so this is how to change the starter. Chevy Impala 2006, 2011 are all pretty much the same. Pretty much get up underneath the car. We're gonna need like 3 tools. There's the starter right there. You're just gonna need to get that bolt out there. So to get to it, we're gonna need a 15mm socket with a 6-inch extension. There's only 3 15mm bolts holding that shape thing on. So you get that off, and then that plastic little like boot is going to be in the way. And to get to it, it's just around the back right there. It's a 10mm bolt. Real easy. You're probably going to need the 6-inch extension. So just go ahead and grab your 10mm socket and take that thing off. Really simple. It's kind of tricky to see, but once you get to it, it's all good. Once you get that off, you can completely pull that off. You don't have to just leave it hanging there. But now you have complete access to the mounting bolt of the starter, which are also 15mm bolts right there. And before you remove those two, there's only 2 mounting bolts. You want to take off the electrical connections, which are going to be, it's going to hang by it if you don't remove those first. But if it's a little hard to get to, like those right there, right in the back with the red cable on it, positive, and there's also going to be a negative cable on there as well. And there's a like something that goes in there, like a plug, I guess you could say. Yeah, and that's in the way with a 10mm bolt. I kind of ripped mine in half because I got tired of that thing. But it was a little hard for me to get to. You take that off. That was the electrical connection was a little hard for me to get to, so I just took the mounting bolts off first, and it got me a little bit of leeway room to get in there. But I'm sure you'll be able to do it easily. Yeah, that's the one all the way in the back. It's a bit harder to get to, but you can definitely do it. Yeah, that's the first mounting bolt you want to take off. That's the easy one. It is really, really long, really easy to get to, but you're going to need that 6-inch extension right there. Trying to point to it in the back. And that, as you can see, that boot will just fall off, which is absolutely fine. Yeah, and I had a little bit of trouble getting to it, so I'm kind of trying to show you guys that there's plenty of things in the way. Fuel lines, I think that is, or yeah, there's like all these things in your way. Yeah, just too much stuff. I don't even know what it is. But trying my best here to show you guys me struggling. Yeah, once you finally get it on there, like it's definitely easy, definitely possible. You'll get to a moment where it'll just keep twisting in itself, and that's when you have to just like pull it off, and you'll feel it become loose. Like as you can see here, it's starting to wiggle out of place. It'll just get ridiculously loose at one point. You'll be able to like pull it off or move it completely out of the spot.
Okay, so got this a little loose.
Right, as I said, it's somewhat loose, so now would be a great time to take off your electrical connectors if you can't get to them. Now would be a great time. So I just took a flathead screwdriver to get to the plug there. Really easy to take off. You can do it by hand if you want. It was kind of cold, so I didn't want to use my fingers. They were already freezing. So you just pop that off with the boot, or with pop the plug off there, and there is the bolt. It's like probably like a quarter long is the other one, much shorter. And there, you do not want to leave it hanging like I am from the positive cable. This is not what you want to be doing here. but just it's a bit easy to show. It's a 13 millimeter bolt. I could not use this socket, so I tried my flare nut wrench to get some extra grip on it, and that didn't even work. So I had to go to a standard, just regular old wrench there. It's not that one, the first one you see, but it's the one in the back, and that holds the positive and the negative as well. I think the other one's like the ground, and that's the plug there. But yeah, I had to go to a standard wrench right there, and it worked much easier. That's 13 millimeter right there. Oh, yeah, trying to showcase my starter that is covered in oil, which is the reason it probably was not working. I have a serious oil leak, which is a whole nother problem. But that on the left side, that right there on the right side, is the positive and negative terminal, and the one that's like not loose is the one you just don't even need to mess with. As you can see, the one that I guess you could say is longer, but the one with, and that's the plug right there. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I know it looks like a bunch of junk, but you'll definitely be able to find out what's going on. And as you can easily see, there's two holes for the bolts to go in for the mounting bracket. And this is a great time to remove that nut there. If you want. That is the first mounting bolt we're going to want to get on, is the easiest one to get on. And it fits or glides right up in there really. You can see there's a place like, yeah, right there on the left. And then it kind of bulges out at the end on the left right there. And you're just going to want to, it takes me a second to fit it up in there, but you're going to want to like go to the right and kind of like move it around and swivel through. Video should speed up here. Really struggling. Yeah, you want to grab your bolt first off and then just swivel it around it, and it kind of just definitely fits in that pocket. As you can see, it was a bit harder to see from the side, but yeah, it just fits right in that socket easily. And then I just kind of ludged that in place, and now it was a bit easier for me to get to the electrical connections, but I still wasn't cool with that just sitting there, so I wanted to put the bolts in there and make sure everything was safe and it wasn't going to fall out, because that would just be awful. So just twist the starter in right there, and that on the mounting bracket. Tighten that up, which is a 15 millimeter bolt. Camera's falling over. Tightening up again, a 15 millimeter bolt. And then this is a great time to go over to the side, for me at least. It's easier to get to. I've already attached the positive and negative electrical. I'm just twisting on the nut there. And for the new starter, it was actually a 14 millimeter wrench that I had to use, not a 13. That kind of threw me off. But yeah, I had to grab my 14. That makes four tools I needed. So yeah, just twist that on, and then I'll take the boot off here, or the plug. It was really easy. It just goes right in there. Can't miss it. Stuff it right in there. Doesn't really click, it just kind of glides in. And then insert the last bolts right there. I already screwed that in, and then pick up your boot right there. So you can, yeah, find the hole that's supposed to go in the back. I guess it's kind of self-explanatory, but you just stuff that up in there, and it'll fit like a puzzle piece up against the next plastic boot that's in there. And then go around to the side. You should be able to match up the hole pretty easily. As you can see, I barely tried to match that up at all. There's your oil filter to your left. Go a bit to your right. You'll see the starter and then that 10mm bolt hole. Boom, right there. Then here is the bolt that's supposed to go in there. Tiny little thing. So just screw that in, and then boom, you twist up your 15mm bolts that are holding on that metal bracket there, and you should be done. Real quick, like. If y'all have any questions or comments you'd like to make, please feel free. I would definitely get to it as fast as possible and answer any questions you guys have. Yeah. And don't forget to screw in that 10mm bolt.